So it's been a while. I've had a very rough couple of weeks. Um, I thought I had a cold. It turned out it was allergies. Um, my eyes are just a mess. Let me show you. Anyway, they've been swollen. They've been tearing. I'm using aloe twice a day for allergies. I have been taking Benadryl left and right. And it's been just a really, really rough 2 weeks. I have multiple sclerosis. So that just means that everything I suffer, like the common cold, anything I suffer is like 1,000 times worse because that's what it is. Today I wanted to go get the lasagna noodles and some vegetables to make a lasagna today because I have a thing of mozzarella. I have a mozzarella ball in my fridge. And it's just not been a good day. I have honey on this. Honey is on this prescription food. And today Scout ate it, and it's just a really hard deal for me. I'm not myself these days because of the allergies. They're super, super, super bad. But I think I should count my blessings because it could be worse, you know? For example, when you have multiple sclerosis, the last place that the government or, you know, the last referral that you get having multiple sclerosis is the American Veterans Association. No, it's not. I think it's like it's for the Paralyzed Veterans of America. I couldn't figure that first word out. Anyway, so that's not good. You know, my obviously I'm 50 years old now, so my short-term memory's failing. I know what you're going to say, and I know what everybody thinks, but to me, the idea that, you know, smoking helps me, with hunger, because I don't get hungry. So when I smoke, you know, it reminds me to eat. I know that's the stupidest thing that people have ever heard, but it is the reality of my life, you know? So that's what I'm dealing with right now. I'm dealing with just super bad allergies. I thought it was a sinus infection. It wasn't. I called the doctor. I had a telephone call with the doctor, and, you know, she said everything I described to her was, you know, precisely allergies, and she told me to go get some Flonase over the counter and some Benadryl and some aloe for my eyes. But today, even my skin is bad. See? It's just bad. I already broke skin there because it's just my allergies, my itching, everything. It's really, really bad. So I have to, you know, entertain myself and take my mind off things. And one of the things I like to do is go on YouTube. And you know, the last couple of weeks obviously have been, you know, full of Meghan Markle and Harry, the Prince of Sussex. And it's mind-boggling to me how they would go and get interviewed by Oprah and then, you know, say just out in the open that she didn't want to live. It sounds just so extreme to me. And you have to almost wonder, like, does she have some kind of mental, you know, deficiency? Because what behooves a person to go after an entire family, like the royal family, like that, like she does? And so yeah, has she lost her mind? I'm at a loss for words, to be honest with you. And then you have just so many different outlets out there actually egging her on, you know? You got Oprah egging her on. Oh yeah, talk about it. She didn't even interview the girl. All she did was give her, like a megaphone so that she could scream out bloody murder through with that interview. It literally was just uncalled for. All that stuff that she went on about, it was just uncalled for. You know, I have a son. My son's been married twice. He was once married to a girl that was like a beautiful blonde Scandinavian lady. I mean, she wasn't a lady. She was young, like a young girl, because they got married right out of high school. And, I had my child at 16 years old. So for me, like, I'm no dummy. I get it. I know what people think, and my son, I'm Mexican, Latina, like, we're people of color. And one of the things that really just tore me out to pieces was when, at one of the outings, my son had invited me over to his in-laws' house. They had been married a couple of years, him and his first wife. And the grandmother, it was actually the last time I saw the grandmother and the grandfather, because the grandfather died shortly thereafter, and then the grandmother followed. And so I remember just distinctly, what the lady said. She said, I just hope they don't have children. And I thought, wow, she either gives, she really cares about like how these kids are going to be able to like raise their children, and, or it could be something more sinister, And I didn't read into it, but I do remember exactly what she said. She said, I hope they don't have children. And I thought, wow, my son's kind of like dark complected, and I'm a lot lighter than him. I actually tend to tell people that I have a vanilla, like a yellowish tone, like a jaundice tone, because I can never match makeup to my face, like ever. I always have that yellow undertone with like rose, like the rosy. And so I thought, wow, these people, like, these people that go on about, people reproducing and then what the kids will look like. That's just a natural curiosity. I can tell you that right now. Maybe this lady meant no harm, but what I do know is that I thought, wow, it must be about the skin tone, because, his ex-wife was Snow White with blonde Scandinavian hair. I'm not talking like yellow. I'm talking like blonde. And she liked to mix it up all the time. But it was funny because, she would get her hair cut and styled and dyed in different shades. But then at the end of the day, it would wash out and she'd be back to that blonde again. And so, yeah, it was offensive to me when they did this, when the grandmother said that. But, what can I do? I thought maybe they mean it's because I'm really young and, it's hard to tell if they're going to last. But I don't think that's what it was. So back to the Meghan Markle and the, how dark the skin would be, potentially, she had the audacity to say. And I thought, this girl, man, is barking up like the wrong tree, like literally. There was a charity in London, England, that received a $10,000 donation from her, right? And there's all kinds of hair on my hat. And so the charity didn't want to acknowledge it publicly because Meghan is like Marmite. Okay, she just leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Marmite, if you don't know, is a type of jelly that you spread on toast in England, very typical. And they give that to you when you go there, like in a breakfast box or whatever. And so that's, your first probably, introduction to England, Marmite. And they say it's a lot stronger than Vegemite, which is the Australian marmalade that comes in a little packet, you know, that you rip the top off. Just kind of like when you go to Denny's and you get your jelly for your toast, same thing. Okay, so yeah, Vegemin, if someone tells you that you need a Vegemin sandwich, they're telling you that you need to shut your mouth, like, you know, because you're gonna have a mouthful of Vegemin and you're not gonna be able to talk. I guess, I'm guessing. But, you know, here when it comes to Meghan Markle, Marmite is like, she just leaves a bad taste in your mouth. I mean, can you imagine giving a charity a donation and they don't want to acknowledge that you gave it to them because they feel like you just leave a bad taste in people's mouth, and you do, you know. So yeah, this woman is I'm just curious what's gonna, you know, I like to call them as I see them. And the reason being is I don't like to have an argument over it, okay? So, like, I call them and then I'm out, you know? And I feel like this is the part where Meghan stepped in the poop, you know? She really stepped in at this time. She, you know, it's probably true that Kate made her cry or that she cried, but that's not to say that she didn't throw the door in Kate's face after Kate brought her flowers. And I read my tabloids, and you know, it's not to say that this girl didn't shut the door in Kate's face and chucked the flowers in the trash, you know. And this was after she had called, you know, little Princess Charlotte fat. She said that Princess Charlotte should learn how to be a good girl because she wasn't a good girl, and she needed to take, you know, she needed to be like, you know, her friend's daughter that was also in the wedding party. I mean, can you imagine being a little 4-year-old kid? I guess little Charlotte said something like, I thought you were going to be my aunt, like my Aunt Pippa. And Meghan said, yeah, no, I'm better than your Aunt Pippa. I mean, who would make something up like that? Surely not the Palisades, you know? I mean, that got out. This is when Kate came in and took Charlotte out of the wedding party. I mean, she let her walk in it, but as soon as they were like done rehearsed, she was like right at her side, like get her out of there. Because Meghan was being a monstrosity to this little girl. Do you really? I mean, I'm from Southern California. I can tell you right now, it is so typical of Catholic schoolgirls to do that. In fact, my son went to Catholic school his whole life, and he said to me, Mom, there are girls in my grade that would go to a fellow classmate's wedding just to show up and like one up them in like a nicer dress, or come over there and just ruin their wedding. That is like their ultimate goal as like guests and invitees. And I thought, he would know because these are his friends, you know. And this is just what I mean when it comes to Southern California typical, you know, just idiocies that people do. And so what I'm wondering is, what is going to be the end fallout of this woman going on national television and just spewing out all this vitriol towards the royal family? It makes no sense. And honest to God, I can't see her returning to England like ever, because from the looks of it, the English people feel that she is that she has, you know, basically stolen from the British public, you know. That whole wedding was a facade. Not to mention the fact that she lied to Oprah and to Oprah's face on national TV that she got married 3 days before the wedding. Like, it just makes me absolutely crazy to think that this woman wants to be known as a humanitarian, but she has the audacity to assault a little 4-year-old child, knowing well that that little girl is a princess and the daughter of the next king, to be after the heir apparent. It's just a lot to, it's just a lot, to digest. And I can't imagine being a part of like the conversations going on in the palace right now. Apparently Meghan and Harry asked the palace in an email or a telephone call, I think it was. I saw it on one of the British tabloids this morning, that they wanted to possibly offer their services to help the Queen with that new, moving forward with the diversity coach, because obviously Harry got a job at that Better Up coaching. And the Queen or the palace, which is one and the same, said, no thanks. I mean, can you imagine? Can you just imagine? I cannot. I can't imagine. But anyway, I feel like this hat needs to be dry cleaned or something. It was the first hat that I grabbed, and my hair looks like this, and I can't see, so that's why I brought the hat out. But yeah, so it's just really, it's interesting to me that she thinks that this is just not gonna blow over, that it's just gonna keep going, and she's gonna keep, spewing out these lies from her own mouth to like millions and millions of people. 17 million people watched that interview. I mean, she lied. She just lied over and over, What does Sunshine Sachs think? That they can, lie to people and tell people that, to like rewrite her history? Everyone knows she's a liar. Everyone knows she's an Epstein girl. Everyone knows that there's pictures of her, Epstein, and Prince Andrew on a yacht, surrounded by other girls, other yacht girls. They're there. Like, does she think these pictures don't exist? I mean, even the Getty goes and gets these pictures and puts them up on their websites. Does she think that no one knows that she was a paid-for-hire escort? Because that's what it looks like. You don't go on a yacht without being invited and told specifically what is expected of you. And if she was on that yacht, then she was running with those circles. But never mind that. I mean, imagine what Prince William must be going through right now. I can't imagine what he must be going through. The moral of the story is, she lied. That's the moral of the story. Meghan Markle is a liar. She lied. And she lies. What else does she tell you and the rest of the world that's a lie? That kid is supposedly from a surrogate. And apparently, there's a rumor in England that Harry has a love child or got a girl from the palace pregnant from the firm, and that Meghan is helping to cover it up. I mean, people hate her. They hate her, and not without reason. So this whole new spin that's being, perpetuated on her by the people of England is not, new. These people have said that she didn't give birth, that the proof of her not giving birth to Archie is the birth certificate itself, because they didn't put it out until 11 days after the child was born. I mean, what are you saying? That no one signed the paper for 11 days? So the child was in limbo for 11 days? No name, no parents, no nothing? I mean, now they're saying that Meghan Markle, per her own mouth, didn't want to live that equals suicidal, which means that this woman is not well in her head, and something has to be done, not just for the palace, but for the world to see that this girl is psychotic. What kind of what would behoove a person, any person, to go out and say, hey, I'm mentally deranged? Because that's what she's saying. She's basically telling the world that she's mentally deranged and that she needs help, and that everything that she said to the world thus far is a lie. It's just a lie. I mean, imagine living a lie and continuing to live that lie, because that's the narrative that you want to portray of yourself. Because you used to be a yacht girl for Epstein. We get it. We get it. She was paid for hire. We all know what paid for hire means. Sometimes you're paid for hire. This woman was paid for hire. It is what it is. She was a so-ho-ho, you know? Yeah, I'm pretty miserable right now because, you know, obviously my symptoms are kicking up. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to cover. Samantha Markle has multiple sclerosis. That's what I have. And she can't walk. She's in a wheelchair. That's not why I don't like Meghan. I don't think I'm ready to reveal that. I've revealed it before on social media, but my account was hacked and stolen. Interestingly, around the time that I was commenting on Meghan Markle. So, for a woman who wants women to have a voice, she sure shut me down, and that's why I'm on YouTube. Those are the facts. I got kicked off all the social media outlets that I loved, like Twitter, because, yeah, you know, Meghan Markle's got some crazy people following her, and they will stop at nothing. And, you know, I got caught up in that whole melee, and it's ridiculous. I can go on Twitter and I could read the stuff, but I can't comment. I can't share, and I always get this, like, horrible, you know, like, flash that says, oh, you know, you can't comment and you can't share. It's just ridiculous. You know, and I'm pretty miserable right now. That was one of my outlets. Facebook was one of my outlets, and they did this to me, and I can't imagine why. You know, these people are just crazy. The sugars, they call them. So yeah, Meghan Markle was my worst nightmare come to life, okay? And I just want the world to know that this woman is quite possibly a psycho, a psychotic, an actual crazy person in the flesh. And her people, I can't imagine them coming out on top from the lies that she told the world. Like, I can't. Like, whoever her, you know, who are these people? Her publicist. You know, she recently got rid of her agent, or did her agent drop her? You know, it's just a mess. It really is. So I feel bad for Samantha Markle. But, you know, she was one of the first ones that outed Meghan and said, you know, this woman, you know, when people show you who they are, like Maya Angelou said, believe them. This woman is, like, out of her rocker. No joke. So, anyway, look at this. I'm going to have to go inside right now and see what just what I can do, you know? My eyes hurt so bad. I can't even see them out here. But yeah, my eyes hurt so bad. And, you know, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna go back inside. I'm gonna put some cream on my hands. I'm gonna go get some noodles for lasagna tonight to make because I have a ball of cheese, mozzarella. So I need to make that. And maybe I'll take video of it while I'm cooking it so you guys can watch. I'm just, it's so much. It really is. Anyways, yeah. what can happen to me having multiple sclerosis. I could wake up paralyzed. So I get up and I get dressed because I could wake up paralyzed. So I have to take advantage of every day that I can walk, because I could wake up paralyzed. My friend, during one of I used to go to these multiple sclerosis society meetings, and they were like held in different places, like 2-3 times a month. And I would show up at these, gatherings, and we'd all sit in a circle, and the first thing they would do is they would go to each person, like do an introduction, because every week, there was always like a handful of the same people, but every week we had new people coming in. And this one month, I'll never forget it. In this one month, this guy came in and he was walking, but he was walking like almost, wobbly. And he was really young, like 41. And I remember he came in with his cousin, and he said, hey, this is my cousin, and she was there for support, and she seemed just really super, super nice. In her introduction, she said that she was a missionary, and that she would go to Africa to be a missionary to people, and she just seemed like a really nice gal. And then one week, this guy came in walking, and the next week he came in a wheelchair, and we all asked him what happened. And he said, I took a nap, and when I woke up, I was paralyzed. I couldn't walk anymore. So that really resonated with me, because it reminded me of when I was doing my research that every outlet, every foundation, at the end of the day, will turn you towards the Paralyzed Veterans of America. So shout out to the Paralyzed Veterans of America. If you guys want to make donations, try making it to them, because they're suffering out there. Incidentally, did you know that in England they found that there is a nerve in the back of your brain, in the back of your neck, in the brainstem area? It's called the vagus, vagus nerve. And in England, this happened within the last maybe 5 or 10 years. In England, they recently found that when they massage this nerve, right, on a person that's paralyzed, it's like recharging all of their nerves, and the people can be retrained in walking. We're looking at something that is a medical wonder, and it's amazing, but we're not quite there yet. There's still going to be a lot of people in wheelchairs, and kind of like when they discovered antibiotics in 1941. People in 1956 were still dying of tuberculosis because it wasn't as readily available, widespread. They were still kind of, and you have to know too, like the government can't, they can't use it for everyone, because they want to control the narrative on everything. We've learned this time and time again. John Hopkins told us this with the Henrietta Lacks Project. Recently, there's a new show on TV. It's 2 seasons. I watched it over the weekend. It's called Project Blue Book, and it's about, the government and how they like to control the narrative. And so, if you believe in UFOs, it's a great show. I definitely recommend it. I highly recommend it. It's very entertaining. I love the 50s. So if you love the 50s, it's gorgeous in terms of like the cinema aspects, so yeah, that's what's going on in my life. I wasn't able to get my teeth done because obviously I had a cold, and you can't go into the dentist's office with a cold because contagious. So it's just been a really rough couple of weeks. One day I woke up, I'll try to put the thumbnail picture of the day I woke up with my eyes completely swollen. It looked like I had gotten in a boxing match. They weren't purple, or they were just red and swollen, And I looked like I'd gotten a nose job, like, you know, what people look like when they get a nose job, their eyes, right? They swell all the way down into their cheeks. So that's what my eyes looked a couple of days ago, or a few days ago, or even like a week ago. So it's just been a really, really rough couple of weeks, which is why I thought, you know, I need to do this video blog, because it's just a really rough time for me right now. I've never in my life encountered allergies this bad. I really, for a second, thought I had COVID, and I didn't, you know? So anyway, that's what's going on in my life. Like I said, I'm miserable. I'm still miserable. I'm in a lot of pain. Look at my hands, you know? I'm gonna have to probably go to the hospital today. The sun is gorgeous out, and I'd love to lay out and tan, but there's just too much to do in the house. I have to go get that lasagna so I could bake it, and the lasagna noodles, and, you know, just figuring things out as I go, you know. Keep going to the market as much as I can, you know, as often as I can. Keep walking, you know. I haven't been on any walks lately, but oh, who wants to dress up in sweatpants? That's all I wear. And now that I can't leave anywhere, it's like, ugh. I dread having to get in sweatpants all over again. Today I got dressed. What? So, yeah, today I got dressed. I had to. My eyes are really bummed out, though. I'm bummed out about my eyes. Look at how pretty this plant is. I don't know what kind of plant that is, but I love it. And that one too. See those ones down there? So yeah, anyways. Alright, you guys have a great day. We had a balloon pop earlier this afternoon on the wire. And it, it turned our electricity off, so we're still waiting for it to come back on. Which is another reason why I thought, let me go outside and see what I can concoct for this video vlog. Alright guys, I'm going in my room now.